Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm filming with a new camera today. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I did actually recently get a Sony a7C. I sold a couple of my cameras to get this camera for it's like compact purposes, but I wanted to take it like traveling as well. So I thought I would try it out for the YouTube videos as well. Let me know what you guys think of the quality. Should I continue using this for my YouTube videos? Should I continue using my Canon? I'm looking forward to editing this and seeing how the color looks in post, but yeah, this is my new camera for today. So actually this video was pretty requested. I know my things that I wish I knew before videos are quite popular, but I wanted to do it for my marketing career as well, because obviously that's a topic that you guys have taken a lot of interest in, and I know a lot of people come to my channel for that insight into what it is like working in marketing in tech or just in general. It's really hard to define what marketers do on the day-to-day because it varies so much from different companies and different industries, or even what your product or service is. It really depends. For me personally, if you guys haven't been on my channel before, I am a marketing manager for a Saas company, and I work on the digital marketing for our software, which includes stuff like email marketing, social media, content marketing, SEO, website, paid digital ads, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the 8 things that I wish I knew before I started my marketing career. The first and foremost is that experience is key. I know this feels really contradictory because you're just finishing school, or maybe you took like a boot camp type of course and you're just coming out of that educational process. And so how could you possibly have the experience that a lot of companies are looking for when they're hiring for entry-level positions? There's actually a ton of ways that you can get experience that translates well on your resume before you ever get your first job in marketing. I've talked about Acadium before in a past video, and a ton of you took interest in that. I think because of how innovative and how awesome the program actually is for those who are looking to kickstart their career in marketing. It just was something that a lot of you were eager to try. So I'm happy to be working again with Acadium on today's video. Acadium is the best solution for those who are looking to get a foot in the door in their marketing career. They offer the whole package, from courses to kind of amp up your education, to tasks given to you by real companies that you can use in your portfolio, all the way up to mentorship and getting your first apprenticeship, which is essentially going to be the golden key, aka your first piece of work experience. I love Acadium because it allows you to enter the world of marketing or enter a career in marketing without really even having to go through like a university degree, for example. That aspect of education I'm not going to touch on because I think it's a little bit different for everyone, and I definitely think that there are benefits to attending a university and getting a degree or a diploma in marketing. But if you are looking for that extra step, or if you're somebody who maybe can't afford university or just don't want to go down that path, Acadium is still going to be the perfect solution to getting you into a marketing career. It's awesome because you can launch your career in marketing totally for free in Acadium. They offer all of their courses completely for free. You can learn anything from SEO to other aspects of digital marketing to paid ads, everything. That's also a great way to identify what area of marketing that you may want to work in and kind of niche in, which I will talk about later. They also have a whole section called tasks where you are able to essentially work on tasks put out there by real companies looking for real marketing help. This means that you are doing essentially assignments, except that these assignments are going to be great real life examples of what you will be doing in your marketing career. And not to mention, you can totally include these in your portfolio when you are applying for jobs in the future, because they are in its own way, a really great piece of experience. But the best part about Acadium definitely is their apprenticeship program. When you apply to Acadium, you have the option to apply to be an apprentice. There are businesses that reach out to Acadium who may be looking for an extra little marketing help. And these are the businesses that Acadium are going to match you up with based on your experience level, what you want to focus on, what you are good at. They have thousands of opportunities in areas like SEO, content marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, paid marketing, and much, much more. You can also get marketing certifications and become a paid freelancer all through Acadium. It's essentially what I like to call the golden key to really get started in your career. I honestly wish that this program was around when I had first started my career, because I think that this would have been the perfect thing that not only would have given me the experience, but it would have given me the confidence to apply to more jobs and feel like that I have the skills and the experience to back up what I was saying on my resume. I know it can be really daunting applying for your first marketing job when all you have on your resume really is your education, and the case studies in your portfolio are just the assignments that you worked on in school. If you guys are interested in trying it out, which I highly recommend that you do, the sign up link will be in my description box below. I've already had a couple of you tell me that you've gotten your very first apprenticeship with Acadium and you have no idea how happy that makes me that I was able to introduce you to this amazing program. So if you do end up trying it out, whether it's the courses, the tasks, or going up to that apprenticeship / freelancer route, definitely let me know. Let's chat about it in the comments. And yeah, I'm so excited to follow along in your new marketing career adventure. Moving on to the second thing that I wish I knew, which is just to keep learning and growing even after you get your first job. I saw this quote somewhere a little while ago, which I don't remember word for word what it said, but essentially what it was trying to say was telling you not to leave your success to external factors. Your success is literally in your hands, your future, your career, all of those things are totally within your control, and you have the power to shape and grow you yourself and your career however you like. I think a huge thing that I've started to do over the last maybe like 3 years is just giving myself the time to continue to learn and build my skill set in this career path. I think, of course, I will say the easiest way to learn is by doing, and I definitely have learned an incredible amount about being a marketer and doing what I do just from doing the job and learning from my peers or my CEO or people who have experience. But it never hurts to take a little bit of time yourself and kind of pursue the areas that you want to learn more about. So if, for example, in my job, in my 9 to 5, I come across something that I don't necessarily understand, I will go and either read up on it or try to find a book about it, or try to find a free course or a paid course on it if it's something that I really am interested in and I know that it's a skill that I want to develop. Your work actually might have an education fund available to you as well. I know sometimes it's scary asking for money. It's scary to ask for your work to pay for things or to ask to expense things. But if you think about it, them paying for a part of your education or your continued education is actually them reinvesting into their own people and into their resources, which they should be doing anyways. So I find that a lot of workplaces are happy to offer that fund for you to be able to grow further, because it just means at the end of the day, they're going to have an even more competent employee within their team. There are tons of free online courses if you don't want to do a paid one as well. I did link a blog post in the description box below that I wrote recently where I listed a bunch of free resources where you can learn about the different areas of marketing and really dive into a specific area. So if you want to check that out, I have that in the description box below. I just love the idea that your fate is really in your hands and you can decide to do whatever you want with it. So decide to keep pushing forward and not kind of fall into that place of comfort and complacency, because it's going to help you so much in the long run. The third thing that I wish I knew is that it's okay to ask questions even if they feel silly or stupid to you, but really ask as many questions to your team as you want and as you can. Especially when you are first entering your marketing career, I know that it can be daunting to ask about the things that you don't know. I'm definitely the type to, if I don't know something, to try to Google it and learn about it that way so that I don't come off as unknowledgeable or that I just don't really understand what people are talking about. But I find that sometimes it's hard to get that contextual detail when you are doing research on it yourself, because like I said, marketing differs greatly depending on the industry that you are in, the company that you are at, and it really becomes this really tailored thing to what you do. So the best way for you to learn about what your company needs is just to ask your peers, ask the people who work above you, ask your C-suite, whoever is willing to give you that advice. And I find that people are actually very, very, very willing to help. You just have to ask, because everybody started where you were. So I find that it's actually rare for people to have that mindset of, oh, it's so annoying that you're asking me this silly question. And I find that most of the time, they're happy to explain to you whatever it is that you're asking for. The next thing that I wish I knew, or I guess that I wish I had learned about sooner, is that you really have to learn to roll with the punches. And if you are kind of in the creative aspect of marketing, to not get too attached to your work or your designs. That was something that I was told very, very early on when I started this job. Actually, I'm pretty sure I was told this during my interviews, because I work in the tech industry and oftentimes there's such a disconnect between the development team and the creative team, or like the marketing team. And that was something that I was actually warned about when I had first joined on, is that they were saying we have some very, very opinionated and vocal developers. So you kind of have to have a bit of a tough exterior and be able to take criticism well and effectively to fit into this team. And thankfully, that was something that I had already been pretty good at. I worked in some other tougher work environments. I grew up with a lot of boys around me, and I just found that I've never been somebody to take criticism too harshly or too personally, and I try to always see criticism in a constructive manner. So I found that that kind of soft life skill really helped me in my marketing career. As a creative person or somebody working in a creative field, I know how it is. I know it's easy to grow attached to what you are doing, especially if it is design work or something that you put your hard work, your blood, sweat, and tears into. But the most important thing that I've learned is that iteration is king. And really, the more feedback that you are able to get about your work, about your designs, about the campaign that you are running, the better that you are going to become in the long run. So do not take criticism or feedback negatively or personally. Don't come to the mindset that you and your work have become one. I know it's easier said than done, but kind of developing this sort of soft skill is really going to help push you further in the long run, because you're going to be able to drive yourself forward and grow and change quicker without having to, give yourself time to like recover from these like personal hits that you might be taking from people's feedback. I totally kind of mentioned this one already, but the fifth thing that I wish I knew right from the get-go is that iteration is king. And I'm not really sure if this is something just in the tech industry. I feel like it's not. I really feel like it's not. But iteration and continuing to improve on your work is going to be, again, what grows you and what pushes you forward. As a part of my marketing communication course in post-secondary, I remember so clearly that we did this one exercise in one of my marketing classes where they made us write down, I think they made us as a team write down a total of 100 ideas, 100 creative ideas on how we can solve for this specific issue that we were kind of examining as a case study in class. Write down 100 different methods, creative solutions that you can think about to solve for this problem. So I got together with my team, we came up with 100. Like, that's pretty hard. Although we had a team of like, I think 7 or 8, that is still a pretty hefty task to do. So we put our minds together, we came up with 100 different ideas, we put them all on sticky notes, and then we waited for the next instructions. And the next instructions that our teacher gave us was throw all of those 100 stickies away into the garbage and start over, because your next batch of ideas are going to be even better than your first 100. And it was a tough moment for sure. It was a tough moment in school, but I thought that was a really great lesson that kind of stuck with me throughout my career. And it's that no matter how good you think your idea is when you first come up with it, it's only going to improve and get better the more that you work on it, especially when you're able to get feedback, when you're able to talk to your target audience and get their feedback, when you're able to pick the brains of other creative people or people who have experience in that area. Every piece of information that you take in is going to be something that you can use to craft and mold this idea into something that's even better. And I think this applies to a lot of different areas or fields as well. Development, especially iteration, so key. Apps would suck if we didn't continue to improve on it. So I think this kind of blends into that roll with the punches piece. But I think once you come to the realization of how important it is to continue to change and improve, it gets a lot easier to not hold on to that first idea or to your specific project or what you've come up with, because you know that everything that gets given to you is only going to improve that. The next thing that I wish I knew was to find a niche and specialize in it. And this is a bit of a hypocritical thing for me to say because I work in a very broad position in my company. I'm a marketing manager, actually. I'm a marketing director now at my company. And I can 100% say that there is not one area that I have worked on more than the other ones. I've really gotten the blessing as well as unfortunately had to work in a very, very broad role within my company. And it kind of is also due to the fact that I work for a startup. We are a small team. Everybody wears a lot of hats, but it means that I was never able to pick a niche in marketing or a specific area in marketing and really master it. I have knowledge on every aspect, but I'm by no means an expert in any aspect. And I think that that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think I'm heading towards this career path where I am taking on more of a project management or leadership role, or someone that actually works on the bigger picture and the strategy. But I do sometimes wish that I had spent more time in the earlier formative years of my career learning about one topic and just getting really, really good at it. I think specialization really helps to fast track your career, and I think that it is a tip that I would give to anybody who's entering the field, is to find an area that you enjoy doing and really just give it your all and specialize in it, because you're always going to be able to move on from that and learn something else afterwards. But having that specific niche and kind of being able to apply yourself so specifically in that area is gonna give you a leg up compared to somebody who's starting off who's just applying as like a general marketing coordinator, because you have this very special skill that companies want somebody to be the expert in. The second to last thing that I wish I knew before I started my career is just to not be afraid to speak up. I actually was told this when I got hired as well in this job, when I was starting off as a marketing coordinator, that companies are hiring you and they want to hire you because you bring a fresh set of ideas, opinions, suggestions to the table of a team who has been so heads down deep into the work that sometimes they're unable to take themselves out, look at the bigger picture, see it from a fresh pair of eyes, and kind of innovate further. That's always the best thing about hiring someone new within the company from like an external source, because they've never seen your company before. They don't know kind of the ins and outs and how you function, and they're able to give it such a fresh perspective that sometimes they're able to give suggestions that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see that or I didn't think about that. So kind of in line with the ask as many questions as possible, don't think that your ideas are stupid, just put them forward and suggest them, because the worst thing that can happen is somebody will say no and you can all move on and go on to the next idea or suggestion. But there is really no harm in just putting it out there, especially if it's something that you feel like you can see but other people in the company aren't seeing. I think oftentimes they just need that little reminder that like, oh my God, that works. And you as somebody new coming into the company is chef's kiss perfect for that. We love it when our younger kind of junior coordinators or people that we hire give us these ideas, because oftentimes they're great ideas, or they're a great foundation to an idea that we can build on and like use in the future or now. You will not get fired for giving stupid suggestions. People will definitely appreciate that you speak up, whether or not it's a suggestion that they apply. And honestly, it costs them way more to fire you and replace you rather than just to work with you and train you and just continue to hear your fresh ideas. So yeah, just remember that. Like, you are an important resource to the company now that you're hired, so do not be afraid to speak up. The last thing that I think everyone should consider before they start their marketing career is that you are a brand. You are now your own brand, so act like one. Probably one of the best pieces of advice that I got during post-secondary, our teachers really drilled into us that people are starting to look at your social media and your presence online and what you post and what you talk about. That was a huge topic for me in high school and in post-secondary, because we were in this world where internet and social media was becoming so prevalent, and people just weren't being careful enough with the information that they were sharing online. There was actually a period in my life where I went back and I deleted a lot of stuff that probably didn't need to be online. I think it's becoming more and more important that you care about what you put out on the internet and the image that you give, because it has become a very natural thing for people in workplaces to look at what you post online and who you are online, because we've really starting to embody this society of our online presence being like a huge part of our lives. You have total control of your image in the digital space. So take advantage of that power and really craft the person that you put out there and that you want your potential employers to see. All right, that is everything. Those are the 8 things that I wish I knew before I started my marketing career. I hope that they were helpful. I know not necessarily every single one of them were such a technical piece of advice like the Acadium thing, but I will say that I really tried hard to think of everything that became important to me as I progressed in my career. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to kickstart your careers for free, make sure you check out the link in my description box below and try out Acadium. Whether it's really just trying out their courses, doing the tasks, or getting to that place where you want to do an apprenticeship, even if you're looking for a career change and you're already in marketing but you just want to try something new, Acadium is going to be the perfect platform for that. I really do highly recommend them, and I'm really excited to be working with them again. So yeah, if you do try them, let me know how it goes. I'm really excited to hear your marketing career stories. But that is everything. I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!